Ada Kazantzakis is a teenager who lives in the city of London. Her late mother, Daphne, was an archaeologist, and her father, Kostas, is a conservationist and a nature writer. In one of her history classes, just before the Christmas holidays is about to begin, Ada screams. Now, there is no particular reason why she screams in the classroom, but a video clip of her screaming in the classroom is posted by one of her classmates and it becomes viral on social media. Now, even Ada is unable to trace the reason for her behavior, but as author Elif Shafak slowly reveals the background, we might be able to trace the trauma which led to her scream. Hi, this is Gautam, and for the third and final episode, we are to review this book, The Island of Missing Trees, by author Elif Shafak. The past is set in the city of Nicosia, the capital of Cyprus, where both Greeks and Turks live. Now, we start with the story of two teenagers when, of course, Ada's mother and father, Daphne and Kostas, are in the island. And since this is a troubled island, since Greeks and Turks come from different ancestries and they come from different religion, there is always a source of conflicts. So for these two teenage lovers, meeting in the city without escaping the eyes of their acquaintances is quite difficult. And that is when they find a tavern named Happy Fig, where people come to eat and marry, a safe house, a safe place where they can spend a couple of hours every day without being caught by their parents or relatives. As struggle for power breaks out in 1974, Greeks and Turks are forced to migrate because of incidents of hate crime and violence, and we have a green line which separates the island into a northern part and southern part, and this is when their love is affected. Kostas is forced to leave the island and pregnant Daphne is stranded. We see what happened, we see the series of events which unfold after that, and we finally get to see the time and place where the lovers meet again and how they decide to escape from the island one last time. Now, author Elif Shafak employs a technique in this novel. The most important character is not Ada, not her mother, not her father, not even the two restaurant owners of the Happy Fig, which is a beautiful subplot on its own, but rather a fig tree. Yes, this tavern Happy Fig has a fig tree, and it is the most important character in the novel, and we see a good part of the story being narrated by the tree. Now, this allows the author to do wonderful things and attractive things which may not be possible in a monologue kind of narrative style. So we get a story from the tree's perspective, where it talks about animals, and where it talks about plants, and of course how maybe the plant kingdom looks at humans. The author is able to write several stories from the tree's perspective. For example, how the tree narrates about the trees which are in the surrounding environment, how it meets ants, bees, and even birds which come from different regions across the world for during the migration part, and how each bee or each butterfly has its own story. And I'm pretty sure that when you read this novel, rather than any character, you'll be more in love with the fig tree than anyone else. The tree could also be a metaphor, in spite of the fact that it might branch in several directions, at the end of the day, all the branches are tracing back to the same roots which feed them. So this is a story of an island which is united by geography, united by climate and culture, but divided through nationalism and religion. So this is a novel about separation, this is a novel about grief, sorrow, and finally love. And maybe Elif Shafak might have produced her masterpiece because of the three novels which I read. This was the most relatable and most daring and the most artistic. So that's the third episode of author Elif Shafak. For the next month, we'll be having a new author. And before the end of this month, I will meet you again with one more book, possibly a non-fiction. Bye for now.